Hey everyone, my name is Colin Deibert and I'm here to give you a crash course on how to record your classical guitar. I have a YouTube channel of my own that's all about classical guitar and how to get the most out of your home recordings. This week, Bradford and I have kind of traded places and swapped videos, so after you're done watching this one, go ahead and head over to my channel so you can see his. And while you're there, feel free to check out some of my other tutorials on how to record, mix, and master your classical guitar. The link is in the description below. So in this video, I'm going to give you the most effective setup for recording your classical guitar, and it's probably the one that's used on most classical guitar albums. I'll be using a pair of SE Electronics SE8 small diaphragm condenser microphones into a Focusrite Claret 4 per USB and then straight into my DAW, which is PreSonus Studio One. However, even if you're recording with something as simple as like a cell phone mic, the same principles still apply, and you'd be surprised at how good your recordings can sound. First thing is first, we need to find a place to put our microphones in the room. So if you're like me and you're recording in something that's basically a converted bedroom or your actual bedroom, you kind of want to stay away from walls and or the center of the room. The walls will basically just reflect sound in a very unnatural and kind of ugly way when you record. Now, if you record in the center of a room, it's not as bad, but sometimes you can cancel out certain frequencies and your recording just might sound a little lackluster. Best practice is to record about a third of the way into the room facing lengthwise, so that way the sound of your guitar isn't really going to hit any walls and then bounce back and cause those unwanted flutter echoes. Next up, we need to actually place our microphones in relation to the guitar. So the most common way to mic a classical guitar is probably using an A-B stereo pair technique. The other one is XY. In this video, I'm going to use A-B just because I think it sounds, a little bit more polished and more or less like classical guitar albums that I listen to. XY is alright, but sometimes the stereo width just isn't quite what I want it to be. Basically, I usually place my mics either about an arm's length away or a little bit less, and I always place it just either a little bit above or below where the sound hole is in the guitar. You just generally don't want it to be directly in line of sight of the sound hole because it can sound really, really boomy, and if you hit a Raschiato, it can clip. And if you're unsure of where to put the microphones, always err on the side of putting them a little bit closer to the guitar than you think. If you're recording in a tiny bedroom, the acoustics are usually less than ideal, and the more direct sound you can get from the guitar, the better. It can be a little odd if the mics are a little too far away, and when you go to add reverb in post, you want it to sound like a concert hall, like a classical guitar album. And if you can hear the reverb from your tiny room and the concert hall at the same time, it sounds a little bit weird. It sounds like you're in a tiny room inside of a big room, and it doesn't really sound super professional. Once you have the mics placed, you're almost done. You just need to check your recording levels. So a good rule is basically to shoot for the peaks of your audio, hitting around -12 or so on the meter. If you're recording and you don't have, like a numbered meter or something like that, just shoot for like 3/4 of the way up. It's better that you record too quiet rather than risk clipping. You just do not want to clip your audio because that's something you can't fix. If your recording is quiet, you can always make it louder in post, but you can't really do it the other way around. And you don't want your box suite sounding like AC/DC. Unless you actually do, and I'd kind of want to hear that album. Now I'm going to play a short example so you can hear how the setup sounds. I'm going to start the recording completely dry, just whatever was straight out of the microphone, and then I'm going to add some EQ and reverb so you can hear how a home recording should sound like when mixed properly. Well, that's my time. I'd like to thank Bradford for giving me the opportunity to meet you all, and as always, don't forget to head over to my channel so you can see his video and check out a few of my other videos on how to record classical guitar in more detail. I'll see you guys around.